Hello students, welcome once again. How are your studies going on? I hope you are studying well. I know it is quite difficult, and I'm also looking forward to seeing you all in the classroom. And we are waiting for the day when we can have normal teaching in the classroom. But anyway, it's due to COVID times, we can't help it. So we have to do our best. The show must go on and studies must go on. So let's come back to our studies. So this lecture is in continuation with the previous one. As you know that we are doing Lord Byron's poem, There is a Pleasure in the Pathless Woods, and we have already completed 6 stanzas of it out of 9. There are 9 stanzas and we have already completed 6. So today we'll be doing stanza number 7 and stanza number 8. So we have already studied that Byron, he shows his attitude towards nature, and he has very little sense of mystery, but he has a sense of wonder. He is really amazed. He is in awe with the power of nature, or you can say with the power of ocean. And especially he has a very sense of wonder and delight in the energizing glories of nature. The poet feels rapture in the society of sea. Right in the beginning he says, I love not men the less, but nature more. That is, he feels very calm and very he feels as if he is in the company. And whose company is it? It is not the society of men, but it is the society of nature. So he finds rapture on the lonely shores. That is, the shores, he's alone and he loves that time. He loves to spend the time with nature. Especially in the previous stanzas we have read that the nature, that is ocean, which is boundless, endless and sublime in character. And it is actually the very reflection of God the Almighty. Now we will read stanza number 7. I have loved the ocean, and my joy of youthful sports was on thy breast to be, borne like thy bubbles, onward from a boy. I wantoned with thy breakers. They to me were a delight. And if the freshening sea made them a terror, it was a pleasing fear. For I was, as it were, a child of thee, and trusted to thy billows far and near, and laid my hand upon thy mane, as I do here. Now, this stanza has an autobiographical note. That is, he's saying that I have loved thee. Actually, in the beginning also he says, I love not men the less, but nature more. Again he is repeating that I have loved the ocean, that I have always loved you. And my joy of youthful sport was on thy breast to be borne like thy bubbles. That is, when he was a young boy, he used to swim. It was one of his youthful sports. But actually, if you remember that Byron was slightly lame and club-footed, so he could not take part in all the other physical activities like other games. So he preferred swimming, because swimming, his lameness did not hinder swimming. Rather, he was a very good swimmer and he was proud of himself. And he could not play most of the games in his boyhood days. So he started swimming and he started taking water games, at which he was very adept. And swimming was one of the most favorite of his sports, because his lame foot did not allow him to practice all other games, in which a lot of running around was included, like football or hockey or any other game of that sort, like cricket. All these games he could not play. And he was very proud of his prowess as a swimmer. So he says that I have loved thee, that I have always loved you, I have always loved the ocean. And my joy of youthful sports was on thy breast to be born like thy bubbles. Now, here, pay attention to this spelling born, B-O-R-N-E. There is additional word E. Born, you all know that when were you born? I was born in the month of September, or I was born in the year so and so. Born means to take birth. But here, B-O-R-N-E, it is almost a similar sound. Born, but born means carried, yani le jaya jana. So, on thy breast to be born like thy bubbles. What are bubbles? Bubbles are bulbule. So, if you see water, especially in the oceans and all, there are lots of bubbles on the ocean. So, he says that my favorite sport was to be, when I was a young boy, to be on your breast, to be on your chest, on your bosom, and to be born like thy bubbles. That I love to be carried on like a bubble, as the bubble goes up and down on your bosom, on your chest. Similarly, even I was carried by you as the bubbles. Onward from a boy, I wandered with thy breakers. And he says, when I was a boy, I just wantoned. Wantoned means that I just played around aimlessly, that he did not have a specific aim to do it. Wanton means to move around aimlessly. That he had, he did not have the agenda, rather he just enjoyed himself being carried by the waves of the ocean till quite far deep. So he says that I wandered with thy breakers. Breakers are again waves, big waves. They to me were a delight. When he was carried by big waves, he was very delighted. Delighted means very happy. He was very happy when he was carried by the huge waves or high waves, and he was brought back to the shore. And if the freshening sea made them a terror. Now, freshening sea over here means when the sea was in, you can say, in slight tumult. So he said the freshening sea made them a terror. There's sometimes when the sea waves come very high and at great speed, it creates terror. Dar lagta hai usse. So these freshening sea, and if the freshening sea made them a terror, agar wo mujhe डराती थी, so it was a pleasing fear. Now, pleasing fear, this is very paradoxical, that pleasing fear, बड़ा अच्छा डर, डर कभी अच्छा होता है क्या? What is pleasing fear? There's paradox. Now, let me explain to you that he says that when I was carried by these big waves, I was slightly afraid also that I might be swept in the ocean. But still, I loved that going along. I loved to ride those waves. For I was, as it were, a child of thee. Because I felt that I was like your child. Your child, and you were carrying me. You were playing with me. And you were carrying me to and fro. Sometimes you used to take me high and sometimes low, on the low waves. And trusted to thy billows far and near. He says, I trusted you so much that wherever you wanted to take me, you took me, and I let myself go with you. Now here he's saying that I behaved like your child. That is, you were like my parents, my father or mother. So let me explain to you this thing. Like when parents, mother or father, anyone, when the person, he throws the child in the air, at first the child feels very scared. And when the parent holds the child in the hand and he does not let him fall once, twice, thrice, then the child starts enjoying that action. So though it is scary, but still he has full trust in the parent. So the child is very carefree. He knows that he will be looked after, he will be taken care of. So he enjoys it. शुरू शुरू में जब छोटे बच्चे को अपन उछालते हैं तो बच्चे कितना हंसते हैं, फिर हम उन्हें हाथ में गोदी में ले लेते हैं, फिर हमें उछालते हैं उनको, फिर वो गोदी में आ जाते हैं तो बहुत हंसते हैं. दे enjoy it. Initially they used to feel scared. So similarly, because he feels that ocean is that I am the child of the ocean and ocean is like my parent, and he trusted that ocean, and the ocean always welcomed him and played with him, and he enjoyed going to the ocean, swimming, and being with it. And I trusted to thy billows far and near, and laid my hand upon thy mane as I do here. Now mane क्या होता है? Now the pronunciation is same, but mane, look at the spelling of mane. Mane is M-A-N-E. वैसे मेन कहते हैं ना, मेन एग्जाम्स, M-A-I-N, that is main. But here main means the hair at the neck of the horses. जो गर्दन पे बाल होते हैं घोड़ों की या फिर ऊंट के भी गर्दन पे बाल होते हैं. So those hair are known as mane. Now what happens when you are riding a horse and you want to take control and you want to steady yourself? What you do if there is no saddle? अगर काठी नहीं है तो फिर घोड़े पर कैसे बैठेंगे? घोड़े तो आपको गिरा देगा घोड़ा. तो क्या करते हैं, उसकी गर्दन के बालों को पकड़ लेते हैं और फिर घोड़े की सवारी करते हैं. तो what he is comparing himself as if he is riding the horse when he is at the waves, on the waves of the ocean. He lets himself go, he catches hold of the wave and he moves with it. He moves forward and backward with the wave. He says, and laid my hand upon thy mane as I do here. Now he is imagining that he is riding a horse, or that is, he is riding the waves of the ocean like a horse rider rides a horse. This is a very autobiographical stanza, and he is explaining, or he is expressing, that how he enjoyed ocean, how he enjoyed the company of ocean, and right from the beginning when he was a small child and till now, till date, he enjoys the company of nature and company of ocean. Now let's read the next stanza. My task is done, my song hath ceased, my theme has died into an echo. It is fit the spell should break of this protracted dream. The torch shall be extinguished which hath lit my midnight lamp, and what is writ is writ. Would it were worthier, but I am not now, that which I have been, and my visions flit less palpably before me, and the glow which in my spirit dwelt is fluttering faint and low. Now he's saying that he has come to the end, and his task is, that is the task which he took up as it was a long poem, as I told you in the beginning, that this poem, Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, this poem was written in 4 cantos, and this extract has been taken from the last canto, or you can say we are reading the last 9 paragraphs of this long poem. And it says that now my task is done, my work is done, and my song hath ceased. Song over here means the poem, and my poem, I have written the poem and it has ceased. Ceased means stopped. My theme has died into an echo. Now that I took the theme, and that the theme is dying, that I have completed, now I have nothing more to say about it. So my theme is died into an echo. Echo is when the sound is reverberates and it comes back. That is echo कहते हैं जब वो आवाज़ वापस आती है, जैसे कुएं में अपन बोलते हैं और फिर कुएं की आवाज़ वापस आती है, दैट इज़ एन echo. So he says, it is fit the spell should break of this protracted dream. Protracted means long drawn, lambi. So he's saying that it is good, it is quite fit, it is right that this spell should break. जो ये spell है, जो ये जादुई वो है, जादू है इसका, the poem which is writing. He said it should break. Now it's been a very long time. It is a long poem and he took many months in writing this poem. So he's saying, now it is time that this spell should break. That when you're writing something, you get yourself involved in that thing and you keep imagining about it. So in a way, you live in that world. So he's saying that I want to break that spell. The spell should break of this protracted dream. It is like a dream. He feels that as if it is like a dream. When he's writing, he feels that he is dreaming about all these things. The torch shall be extinguished, which hath lit my midnight lamp. He's saying, my torch shall be extinguished. Extinguished means it should be doused, or it should be बुझा देना इसको ना. The torch shall be extinguished with had lit my midnight lamp. Midnight lamp over here symbolizes that he used to stay awake till midnight. He used to work hard writing this poem. This is a very long poem and he had been writing it for so many days and nights. Even till midnight he used to write the poem. And now he feels quite fed up with it, and he says, what is writ is writ. Now whatever it is, whatever has been written is written. There is also a biblical reference to it, that he says that whatever is written, that God, when he's made something, he made it. So what is writ is writ. It is in the Bible actually. When the Jews, they requested to alter the inscriptions which were made for Jesus at the crucifixion, जब उनको सूली पर चढ़ाया गया था. So he answered, the one who was writing, he said that what I have written is written, and that is, it is completed and final. Now I'm not going to change. So over here Byron also feels that what is written, that sometimes it also shows some sort of you can say frustration, or you say that now he's gone fed up with writing such a long poem and he feels now this poem should end, and now whatever I have written is written. I don't want to make any changes. Would it were worthier, but he also feels that I wish this poem would have been worthier. Worthier means more worthy. He feels this poem is not as good as it should have been. Actually, whenever you write something, the poets or the writers, when they write something, they always feel that they could have done better. They could have improved upon it. But there is a limit to improving. So finally they feel, okay, जो लिख दिया वो लिख दिया, and it's final. I don't want to make any changes. So this stage has come in Byron's life, and he wants to end this poem. So he says, but he also wish it were this poem was of a greater value or worth. Worth is value कि उसकी और काश ये और ज़्यादा अच्छा होता. But I'm not now that which I have been. Now he's saying that I have changed. When I first started writing the poem, my ideas, my energy, my imagination was different, and my visions. I'm not now that which I have been, and my visions flit less palpably before me. Now he's saying, in the beginning I had a lot of imagination, and now my visions, that is what he sees, that is, and they are flitting, they are coming at very obstructed manner. कभी आ रहे हैं, जा रहे हैं. It's not, my visions are not very clear, and they are just flitting less palpably before me. Now palpable means very substantial, that which can be seen, and that which can be sustained. So he says, now my imagination is also getting weaker, and I cannot see all these things before me as I used to see when I started writing this poem. And the glow which in my spirit dwelt is fluttering faint and low. That in the beginning, when I started writing the poem, there was a glow in me, that there was a shine, the ray in me, which in my spirit dwelt at that time when I started writing, that I was very energetic, there was glow, and there was creativity, all this. And now he has written a very long poem, and after that he's come to the fag end of it, and he feels that now I'm not what I was before, what I had been before, but rather the spirit, that is my enthusiasm or my energy, which dwelt in me, is now fluttering faint and low. Now it is wearing down, it is becoming dim, it is becoming less active. That is, now he wants to close that poem, he wants to end that poem, because he does not feel that same energy and excitement and creativity that he had felt when he had initially started writing the poem. So he's saying, in this stanza, he's saying that whatever I had to write, I have written. My task is done, and my poem has ceased. My poem has finished. And I also want to break that spell in which I had been staying for so many days or months while I was writing the poem. And I had stayed awake till the midnight to complete this poem, and now this work has done. But he also feels, and he wishes that maybe that his poem is worthier. But he feels that now I'm not going to make any changes in this. Whatever I have written is written. So, and why he wants to say that I don't want to write? Because now his imagination is also giving up. So he's saying that he feels that his imagination or visions, what he sees, they are also becoming less substantial, and his spirit, which was the spirit which dwelt in his heart, was very enthusiastic or very creative or very shiny, glossy. So now the spirit is dimming, it is fluttering, faint, is becoming very worn out. So this fluttering faint, this is there's the F sound, and this is alliteration sound here in this. So he feels that now time has come that I should end this poem. So this is how we have come to the we have completed the second last stanza of this poem. So in the next session, this poem will be completed finally, and I hope you have understood the poem. So in my next session, I'll be completing the poem, and you go through all the stanzas and try to understand it. Thank you for patient listening. Till we meet again in the next session. Goodbye.